Hello everyone, my name's Grace, and today I just was hoping that I could explain to you a little bit about my process in songwriting. It's been one of my hobbies through the years, and it's also just a great form of therapy no matter what you're going through. And so, but specifically, I thought today we could learn how to write a song together and turn our heartbreak into a hit. So in order to get a hit from heartbreak, we need to first examine our heartbreak, which is tough, obviously for obvious reasons. The fun part about songwriting, though, is that it's an extremely freeing form of therapy. It's not even just for fun sometimes. Sometimes it's it kind of just needs to come out of you. And so I want you to look back at your heartbreaks and choose a specific time in which the hurt was just so painful and so deep that it can inspire you to write something about it. So let's think about it. Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Was it a boy? A relationship ended that you weren't ready to say goodbye to? Or maybe a loved one that passed? Maybe grandpa died a few years ago and he was your best friend. Who knows? I want you to think about your heartbreak. Something that's broken your heart. Considering that we're going for a hit here and that when looking at my music library, I have an inventory of about 90% heartbreak songs and about 10% on love and happy times, I'd say the best way to get that hit is to write about our heartbreak. So have you figured out what you want to write about yet? We'll start off with an example. So you and I can use an example together. And I guess we'll go with maybe an on and off ex that just broke up with us. So let's go from there. Now that we have our initial pinpoint of pain, I want you to rhyme. I know it's we're in third grade again, but trust me, it works. So thinking about this heartbreak, this relationship, saying goodbye, what words come to mind? A good starter for any kind of heartbreak would be crying. So this is one of those words that I feel always comes up no matter what you're mourning, a relationship, a person, a home, a job. Crying is just a universal figure of sadness. So now we have to think of more words that rhyme with crying that also remind us of this heartbreak. So we have to have the dynamic duo of those two things in order to get more lines in our song and more substance. So let's go with trying, maybe lying, pining, timing. I'd say that's a good start. That's 5 words? That's a good start. So we're going to take those words and connect them to specific experiences related to this relationship we're now mourning. And I want you to say your first rhyming word to yourself, and whatever memory in relation to the heartbreak comes up quickest and hits hardest, I want you to go with that. So, for example, I've been crying over you. Obviously, if we're talking about heartbreak with your ex, and we bring up the word crying, what are you thinking about? Oh, yeah, eating potato chips, watching my Netflix special, crying my eyes out because Jerry never actually loved me. So, I've been crying over you. That'll be our first example. So, our second, again, I've been trying to make this work. So we're just putting experiences to our words. You've been lying to me. Maybe I've been lying to myself. We can get creative with it. Don't be shy. So a lot of times, just a tidbit for you though, a lot of times using I or me is important when writing a song because then the song can become whoever is singing it. So it has the power, the word I and the word me and the word we and the word, did I miss another one? We, our, that always has the power to give somebody else your song. And so that's an important thing when thinking about it. Anyway, I've been pining over you for so long. Our timing was off. So now that we have a few lines thought out and our rhymes are set, we're searching for the hard hitter of the bunch. We need our catchy piece of dialogue or the whole point of the writing the song is this message sort of thing. So let's take a look at our lines and try to carve that out there. I've been crying over you. I've been trying to make this work. So here are our two first lines. These two seem to have the word been in common. So they both have been, and I'm thinking about, okay, well, if this is like a common thread that's going through two lines already off the bat, we're looking at maybe like a reoccurring theme of time, or like time passing, been in the past, time passing, been happening. While this time is passing, we're crying and trying. So another thing I'm looking at is the word over. I always like to find words with double meanings, because then, obviously you can be clever with things, and it's always fun in songwriting to be clever. Especially when you're like trying to find a catch. So what I mean by this is the word over can be used to describe directionality, like over the bridge or over the mountain, or a time period being over, which is what I mentioned before about like the word been alluding to the passing of time. So what if we take our versatile over and put it at the end of our next line? Can we go anywhere from here? Let's just think about it. We just have to be creative. So now we're able to take our theme of time and passing time and turn the line, "You've been lying to me," into "You've been lying to me over and over." So, which can be said about crying, trying, pining, and lying, which is why we like it. It's versatile. We can use it with everything. So now we can see how our lines introduce the main theme. It sort of attaches our rhyme to our experience. So all three of those together are like the trifecta. That's the word I'm looking for. The trifecta of songwriting. You take your main theme, and it kind of is like this blanket or like this umbrella, and then the experience and the rhyme like trickles down beautifully, and it just makes for a clever song, and that's always fun to listen to, for me at least. I personally favor songs that are storytelling, fun wordplay, fun stuff like that. So anyway, if we take all the lines from what we'll call verse 1, and we can then analyze them and make them like more in tune with our theme, as well as make them rhyme, which is really exciting. It's my favorite part. We can even add a little passive-aggressive remark, some passive-aggressive stuff in there, just to get our last jabs in at Steve or Tom or Jane or whoever your awful ex is that we're thinking about when doing this. So here with the chorus, we can do the same. Make it all rhyme, and bring together our theme of over and over again. Here we've created out our chorus, so that's our chorus. Hopefully with a catchy melody, it can be even more fun. I real quick just wanted to explain the difference between a major chord and a minor chord. In my limited knowledge, I'm no music savant or anything like that, but I'll just explain it the best way that I know how. An E major sounds happy, whereas an E minor is sad. So this is an E major, and I want you to just listen to its optimism, to its brightness, to its like looking toward the future, happy, hopes up. So now I want you to hear the sorrow in the minor. He has a little tear, so just listen to that. See how different they are? And do you see why they're different? Like one is just happy and one is sad. So this is why when creating a Heartbreak song, we have to come up with a sad chord progression to match our sad theme. So let me rephrase. We don't have to. Many artists do a lot of juxtaposition in order to bring a new vibe or feel with their art. But for now, we'll keep it in the realm of tangible understanding for us beginners, us songwriter newbies. So here's a chord progression I picked out. You can Google a chord progression, any chord progression. You literally can type in chord progressions, and you'll be flooded with an immense amount of things. It might become overwhelming, so we'll just stick to the easy ones. We won't add any minor 7th, 8th things. Those are just too difficult. So anyway, So right now, here we are. I've chosen D minor, E minor, F, and then back to E minor. So this gives us 3 minors to work with. And this will tip our emotion scale to the sadder side of things, which is what we're supposedly going for. So let's take a listen. So, can you hear how it sounds like sad? Or even evil, like Count Dracula just lost his job and is preparing for a killing spree of some kind. So now we'll look within those chords that we just used, and you can see the notes that they're made of, and we'll use those notes to form our melodies from those specific notes. We do this because then it will match up with the chords that we're doing, and obviously you can go find some other ones that sound good, but doing this just plays it safe in the way that we won't ever go sharp or flat or anything like that. So now you can just see here, this is the melody over the chord progression. And also just in order to make our syllables fit and maybe easier to remember, we can add some repetition, like at the end of all of our lines, or maybe just a few of them, maybe just one, and that's our hook. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But so for now, we'll just repeat over you and are you. And this is our song. Let's just listen to it. We're gonna hear our song. I appreciate you guys sticking around this long and listening to my presentation. I hope I've helped you. I hope maybe you learned something you didn't know, and if you already knew this, good for you. And at least you can hear this quirky little 10-second song that we've made together. All right, thanks, guys. I've been crying over you, trying to make this work. Are you? You've been lying to me, but we both have, haven't we? Pining over you for so long.